Hey, ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters from NYC Wrestling Alliance, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, everywhere, Spotify, any broadcast of this. It is what it is. Phenomenal and super. So we have my brother J Rod the voice. We have the one and only phenomenal, the ruler of all ages, Mike. And then we got all the brothers. This is an episode I've been dying to have. We have the conspiracy of motherfucking Face Kid up in the building, and we have Mike World Order all day. I love all each and of you motherfuckers in this fucking podcast. And I've been sick. We all been going through this, but everywhere it's a new year, coming new year soon. And I'm happy to have my brothers in this phenomenal episode. We're gonna talk about wrestling titles and the history of wrestling titles. Um right now we're gonna take a break from, mental health. Mentally I was going through some shit, but I'm fine now. I'm just happy. My drug right now is to see my brothers here and make me feel happy. But titles, wrestling titles. And then we have news that, there's been releases. John Morrison was released this morning from WWE. But guys, Base, Mike, Jesse, what you think how the years runs of, seeing the phenomenal world championship title that's all gold, real diamonds and jewels. How do y'all feel about how it looks now, upcoming year?
Should I go first or?
I mean,
Whoever, I'm asking only
I
y'all can
mean,
answer
yeah. Go
this.
ahead, Mike. You go first because
So
you got
the
you got
wrestling
better
historian.
knowledge. The wrestling historian, Mike.
So a few weeks ago, we did an episode of Mike World Order where we did a tribute to Reggie Parks, the guy who's basically been the godfather of belt making, because it's been a who's who of championships he made. Um, I feel like anything post Reggie Parks era has been hit and miss, and maybe it's because
This
I
and like
feel.
what? In what term?
Hmm? No, I feel
Hit and
like
miss like how? Like
the
I'm so
WWE.
sorry to interrupt. Go ahead, my brother. I'm getting interested. I'm getting so interested. Because you're the man when it comes to talking about wrestling titles. You're the fucking man. So,
He's fully clothed today.
I don't want none of y'all to be quiet either. Base, I love you.
I'm not trying to be quiet. I'm just shocked that he's fully clothed today.
I think that he's frozen. He's frozen.
Frozen. Yeah, look, he looks like Mr. Freeze right now with that whole
There he goes. He's
blue.
back. He's
Right,
back.
It's that northern bougie Virginia internet.
Yeah, I mean, last night's show, the power went out right before we were about to get ready to start. But anywho, so I feel like everything post Reggie Parks era and anyone who was trained under Reggie Parks, I feel like championship belts have kind of went um, downright, well, dirty.
Jeff Pox, Fred, what up?
WWE insulted our intelligence with their world championships. And I'm not saying this to be biased.
Really?
I
You
feel
think
like,
they do you think they took a piss on the world title that they have?
yeah, like I don't want to see a belt that looks like a giant class ring. I hate to say it, and I'm not trying to be someone who is biased. And Base Kip knows where I'm going at with this.
Now, would you be referring to the United States Championship?
United States Intercontinental World.
Besides that, the world title itself.
But I haven't seen a great WWE championship since the Big Eagle.
You don't think the new title looks good?
I don't like it. I didn't like the Undisputed belt. I didn't like the current one. I didn't like the Class Ring belt. None of that. I'd say probably the best one that they had overall is the Big Eagle one. And
really?
Yes. And Base Kip, you know what I'm talking about, and you know what time it is. To me, with WWE, that's been like the best championship. But if you were to say overall, let's be honest, nothing can top Big Gold. Big Gold should be on everyone's top 5 world championships. Big gold, big eagle that you see right there that Base Kip is holding, and the IWGP World Heavyweight title. Not the Transformer version, but the Generation 4 before it got transformed. You know, it's a beautiful specimen. It's supposed to look like a world championship. Even Ring of Honor kind of went the downfall with their world titles. I don't like the current one they had.
I hate the titles. They look horrible, bro.
The second one they had during the HD Net era, I love that one. Same with the TV title. It's just that the belts they got now, no, I don't like it. I feel like anything that's past 2010 looked like it went borderline birth control in terms of
I
quality,
agree with you. I agree to that.
with the exception of Japan and the United Kingdom, and of course Mexico, with the exception of the AAA Mega Campeon belt. But that's just my personal opinion, and I feel like these days, I feel like two things, and maybe I don't want to sound judgmental, but I think you can agree with me on this, Mr. Yagi, when I say this. I feel like two things have been going on when it comes to championship belts. I feel like mid-card and tag titles have been pushed to like least important.
Yes. Oh my God. And it's so disrespectful, bro.
It is. It's beyond disrespectful. And this is just me once again freestyling. But when people ask me, like wrestling fans, when they ask me how old I am, I flat out tell them I grew up in the generation where the championship said World Heavyweight Championship.
You can't
and
get
you
to my
had to-
phone?
And you had to end a feud in a steel cage that had blue
No,
bars.
dude, just give me 2 minutes.
Like that's, I feel like now everyone's saying world champion, world champion, world champion. Put the word heavyweight back on. It's a heavyweight championship. What is the point of, once again, WWE with their class ring belt? It says it at the bottom, the marquee, World Heavyweight Championship. But yet they don't recognize it. They just say WWE Championship. When they have the title matches, you see the marquee in the background. It says WWE World Heavyweight Championship. So it kind of, oh, by the way, there's my baby right there. Daddy misses you. Uncle J-Rod's taking good care of you, I see.
What do you shine it with, bro?
No, I didn't even shine it with anything. I just don't mess with
Bro,
it.
nah, I'm gonna give it to you. And I don't know if you know about this, Mike. For replica titles, is it legit real? Replica?
Oh, yeah.
All right.
Oh, yeah.
There's an oil that those titles get every year. I'm gonna order for y'all. That's Johnny Rods is the only reason why I know about that shit, bro.
Oh yeah, like look, Kip will tell you. You see what Kip got. You see what J-Rod got.
Yo,
Yeah,
Kip, what
so-
do you oil your belts, Kip, or no?
Nah, it's not even at that point where it needs to be oiled. It just
Mine's probably needs to be oiled.
just always looks perfect,
That's
all the
actually
time.
good, bro. You don't
All the
touch it
time.
at all.
and it's
Well,
heavy.
you don't mess. Do you mess with it a lot or no?
I pick it up and mess around with it a little bit, but I mean, look at it. It's pretty. The leather is very, very
Let me
loose.
see. Open the leather. Yeah, let me look at the back.
Oh, you want to see the back? Oh,
Yeah.
the screws.
That's
Yeah,
the-
all the screws are hidden.
Oh my God. That's
Screws are
what
hidden.
I'm
This
talking
is
about.
TV
That's the
grade.
one thing that titles that people fuck up on is the fucking screws, bro.
And with these replica belts, what you'll see is, depending on what kind of belt you get, it'll
I
be
know-
like a Jmar
Yeah.
99 version. This is like the
version.
one that The Rock had back when his first title reign. Stone Cold,
Bro, in my
Triple H.
closet, I'm gonna bring it out for y'all. Y'all haven't seen my title. I got
Beautiful.
the legit. If
Bring
you
it.
ever went to the NWO, if you ever went to NYC, New York wrestling, have you ever been there? The WWE wrestling New York.
Oh
have you
yeah, I
ever
used to
been
go
Yeah,
there
WWE
eat
New
all
York,
the
yeah.
time.
You know
I
the
got like
first
5 lunchboxes.
smoking skull title that they had
Mhm.
on the shelf. I have
Mhm.
it. It doesn't even say replica in the back. It just has the snakeskin skin in the back.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Bro, the only thing I missed on was getting an autograph signed by that nigga. But I have that belt, and I'm willing to have it. Take pictures with y'all, whatever y'all want, but it's real. The snake skin, bro, is so real, bro. I was like, oh my god, that title alone is worth 15,000.
Well, say,
Wow.
hey, if you got it with you right now, hey, why not all of us as a group? We can
Get a
screenshot a photo together.
Gotcha, nah, deadass, yeah. And bro, that's the only title I've ever seen that does not say replica. It's just plain snake skin. That's it.
This is
I was like, this is real. The jewels, they're real jewels, bro. They don't. There's no cracks. There's no lines on it. Nothing. It's just. It looks brand fucking new, bro.
Wow.
I keep it covered all day in the closet with my real replica Michael Myers mask from Rob Zombie. Yeah, those are the main things I have in my closet. Like I cherish is my Rob Zombie's Michael Myers mask and my Smoking Skull heavyweight titles, Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Yeah, it's definitely one of the nicer looking belts from the Attitude Era.
But to go back to what you was talking about, Mike. Yes, it's disrespectful how. See, people don't understand. People ask me, "Oh, what the fuck? It makes sense. They all just like a trophy." It's like, no, it's not just like a trophy. It's deeper than that. It's basically so personal because a title can make a star, or a star can make the title, and it goes both ways. The Cherish title it's basically history, man. If you win the world title, your history, your name is gonna there forever. It could be against fucking Bob Backlund, Jake Snake Roberts, whatever. The personal thing about having a world title is that you're making history go on. But the disrespectful things that people do nowadays with, like, especially WWE, how they just transform a title and make it look like a car, it's not cool.
I think it is more a marketing thing for WWE.
Yes,
where
that's what it is.
They're trying to market to a younger audience. They're focused more on, appeasing children and professional wrestling fans, not sports entertainment fans. Be that as it may, you have that's the market that they're into.
Yeah,
now you'll go back to the Attitude Era when the belts actually had any kind of prestige.
Yes, bro.
Prestige.
Even the fucking hardcore title has prestige.
The belts that you guys are seeing, the one that Mike has, first African American heavyweight champion, Ron Simmons.
I had to make sure I got it. I had to get that
he has to get that one. And then J-Rod's got the Shinsuke belt. That's the Shinsuke belt for me. I'm sorry. I know a lot of other great wrestlers held this belt. Naito held that belt. Kenny had it for a little bit. That incarnation of the belt. Tanahashi had the belt. That's a very prestigious title as well.
Yes,
and titles like that are used to elevate talent, whereas the titles that they don't even want you to call them titles, the championship belts that WWE is pushing towards their audience, there's no prestige. Who's held these title belts? Think about it.
Shinsuke Nakamura.
They put that ugly ass Intercontinental belt on Shinsuke, but who else had it? I mean, that's more of like they gave Sami Zayn had that belt, Sami Zayn, Generico, but United States belt, the big metal plate, and it looks tacky. It looks tacky. It doesn't look like a championship. It looks like a toy.
I feel like they're not putting any effort in it.
And don't blackball me. I really think the good title that they have that looks phenomenal, and honestly, it's sad to say, is the 24/7 title, man.
Oh, you mean the one that looks like the WBC?
They got you with the green strap. That's why. The classic green strap.
Come at me. Am I wrong? But I know you think I'm right. That's like the only title they have that looks fucking phenomenal.
Minus the details, that there's no details on it. There's no side plate details. It's just a
nice space, whatever. 24/7.
It's a bare belt. It's a bare bones belt.
I'd have to go with the NXT UK tag titles.
Oh, wait, your NXT titles are phenomenal, bro. I don't care what anybody says.
Like,
from now on, like that's wrestling. See, WWE is the market. You know what I'm saying? NXT is wrestling. So
I say the IWGP tag belts back, the first generation ones. I like those
Wow.
belts, the heavyweight ones.
yeah,
That
back
and the
when
GHC championship belt.
Reggie Parks' final championship.
yes, that's so true.
World of Honor
Did y'all
champion.
see the new titles for Ring of Honor that come out?
They're still in business.
Yes.
Yeah, they're I got a
Final
feeling
battle,
that,
the last pay per view.
and it's in Baltimore, but I was debating on going, but I'm like,
It's sold out.
yeah, but
What?
even at
That's
the time,
sold out in minutes.
oh no, when I got it, the day I was gonna get it after Honor Club, people already bought tickets. It just, I don't know, I didn't feel that excitement that I used to feel when going to buy tickets for a wrestling show. You know, especially something like Ring of Honor. Like it was at the point where I never missed the Baltimore show at Ring of Honor. But I feel like with Final Battle, I just don't. It doesn't feel like Ring of Honor to me. It really doesn't.
Well, it's gonna feel like Ring of Honor if, say, a Bryan Danielson or CM Punk show up and announce that they're buying the company,
That would be fucking
and they shake
hits.
hands in the
Oh
ring.
my god, that would be so fucking it, bro. Do you think I'm saying your base? I'm gonna give you.
Especially now with
That
Jay
would be
Lethal
so
working
it,
for.
bro. If CM Punk would die, if they buy that shit, they will make that shit phenomenal, bro.
You know that they've got the money to buy it.
Yes, they do.
I mean, my thing is too. Here's why I think Ring of Honor is going down after Final Battle, because the company Sinclair Broadcasting, guess who they recently signed
Ooh.
He's frozen.
on to their show network?
Who? No, you froze real quick. Say that again, my brother.
My bad. I was saying Sinclair Broadcasting. Guess who they signed to their network recently?
Who is signing, my brother?
Wow Women's Wrestling, owned by Tessa Blanchard.
Hmm.
And guess what? It starts in April 2022.
What a weird time and phenomenal date.
Well, start of the second quarter.
Yeah.
The second fiscal quarter of the year.
My guess is Ring of Honor is going to be very limited. And I feel like Ring of Honor is going to go back to basics how it was in the beginning.
Do you have like an accurate proof to that?
I think so. And don't get me wrong. Anyone who's seen Ring of Honor in the beginning, they're pretty much doing the same thing that they're planning on doing now, where it's basically, if you want to show up and work, you know. Because they didn't have contracts during that time frame.
All I'd like to see is Brian Johnson get a title shot at Final Battle. That's what I want to see.
I can see him going for either the TV or the Pure title.
I could see him getting the Pure title. That's the belt he needs.
I see him getting the Pure title ASAP.
Because I already see Gresham's going to win the world title. I'm calling it now. Jonathan Gresham's going to end up being, what does that make him, the second Black Ring of Honor world champion?
And wouldn't that make him a Grand Slam? Did he have the television title?
That would.
Yeah, we had television.
Oh, that's the only one he's missing.
Okay.
Right
he
now,
gets the world title.
The only Grand Slam is Jay Lethal.
Jay Lethal, yep.
Because he's had it.
How you feel about Jay Lethal and All Impact?
I think that's a tease for ROH coming into AEW. That's a tease. That's how I feel.
I mentioned there was rumor innuendo that some of the guys from Ring of Honor contracts have been bought out by AEW until Ring of Honor comes back. And Jay Lethal's name was one of them. The Briscoes were named.
And if that's it, that they did it right, because they're gonna be able to work, make their money, earn their money, and have a broader audience to perform in front of. It's good for everyone.
Plus, it's gonna help Ring of Honor. And then you got the OGK, you know, Matt Taven and Mike Bennett. They're wrestling in the NWA, which their tag division desperately needs it. You know?
NWA,
Yeah, that's why right now, even with all the releases going on, it's gonna help other promotions more, and it's gonna make WWE look bad.
Yeah, I want to see Johnny Mundo come back.
Bro, I just want to go. Hold up, I'm gonna go against that, Mike. They wouldn't release somebody if they know they don't got a plan. John Morrison was the craziest release I think they did, but I can imagine. You know how much money John Morrison's gonna get from other companies,
Oh yeah,
especially AEW, because he's
I mean,
phenomenal, bro.
not even that.
Phenomenal fucking worker, and
Not
he
even
makes
that.
the titles look good too, bro.
True. But not only that, there's so many other promotions, and I think people kind of fail to realize AEW and New Japan are not just the only alternatives. There are and anyone who's followed, you know, John Morrison after his
I
last
have.
release
I
with
followed him when he was in
WWE,
Japan, bro.
he went everywhere. Like he did Lucha Underground. He was in AAW. He was in what's that promotion Joseph
He made
Sandow?
Lucha Underground. I don't give a fuck what anybody says.
And now with Lucha Underground coming back with MLW, because now they announced that MLW in November and December will be in Mexico, working with the Crash, Lucha Libre, and some of AAA. So that's going to look good on their end too. What better time to see Johnny Mundo or Johnny Impact or whatever name he
Johnny
uses?
Mundo.
The
I mean, just
parkour
whatever name he
Jesus.
uses.
The
He says
the
popcorn.
fuck, Jesus.
The popcorn. Jesus.
I'm just saying, I could see him in
The
MLW during
dip.
that time frame.
MLW or Impact Wrestling was like music he was in mostly, but
Yeah, but he was also in PCW Ultra too as a regular.
yeah,
With a lot of
PCW
guys
Ultra.
like Hammerstone, Jacob Fatu.
I'm glad I made base kid his head. The dip. The dip.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, there's so many wrestling promotions right now that can grow off of these release wrestlers. Even, and I'm going by it, and I've always called him by his wrestling name, not the name WWE gave him, but Shane Swerve Strickland.
Oh shit!
That's gonna
Yeah.
be another hot one off.
Wasn't he Kill Shot? Wasn't he Kill Shot?
He was Kill Shot, and then
Kill Shot.
he was also the first MLW World Champion when they opened back up. He's another one that can go anywhere.
And he came out to a smooth theme too. What was his theme song? He came out to a smooth theme. He had a smooth theme.
And Lucha
when he was Shane Strickland.
Oh yeah.
In MLW.
Ain't nobody love me better. That was his. Yeah, that's his entrance song.
Yeah, like he's another one, just like John Morrison. Wherever he goes,
they're gonna be all right.
Money.
They're gonna strap the rocket on him. And look, all of Hit Row is gone from WWE. I guarantee you, they're all gonna come together. Doesn't matter what promotion. Hell, they can go to Impact and make an Impact. We can see
the genius would be for them, being that they were Hit Row, which is obviously a rip of Death Row. What they should do is become another rip-off incarnation. I don't want to say impersonation. What's the word I'm looking for?
Basically,
I can't find the word, but they should do a parody of Bad Boy Records now.
Yeah,
they're not going to be in. They're not going to be in WWE. They can't use the Hit Row. They could do some type of Bad Boy play on Bad Boy Records. You know what I'm saying?
Well, Base Kid.
Everyone will get that.
I want to let you know now in advance. If that's going to happen, I'm going to shut down the studio. But listen, I'll open it back up, guys. If y'all go down, downtown Manhattan, and I want y'all to get a photo of a midget holding these balloons. And then afterwards,
oh my god!
I want y'all to get me a sugar cookie too.
What type of sugar cookie?
Would you settle for some Hello Panda?
Hey, I love me some Hello Panda.
Too bad. Sorry, they're all gone.
Oh shit! Come on, man.
I hate them.
Rise, chicken. But
come on, that shit Base eats, bro.
Arise, chicken, arise. I got me the WWF Championship.
Mom, the meatloaf.
Brought to you by.
Fucking meatloaf.
It is what it is. Live
Just
on
saying.
9 p.m. live on Twitch.
I think people kind of forget, like in the beginning, people that get released, it's like, oh man, that sucks. But now it's like, man, I can't wait to see what's going to happen with these people when they get released. Like, it's not a release to me. It's basically breaking the chains off of the slaves. Because right now, all WWE did was just open up a brand new landscape. You know,
Here's
Yeah,
a
I'm look-
here's a hot take. Release all of your performers that actually have talent and allow them to go to your competition to further kill. I swear, I think Vinnie Mac, and I have respect for Vinnie Mac, but he's trying to kill his own creation legit now, for real. If any of if these are his decisions, he is intentionally trying to scrub Triple H's legacy from history and kill his own creation. That's
Oh,
what's
yeah.
You think
happening.
so?
Yes,
Yeah.
I do.
they did it with Flair and Triple
He
H.
was
let
he's
that
not
Flair-
he sees the writing on the wall, and he's a stubborn man, and he wants to kill his own creation before someone else kills his creation. Think about
and
it.
he's looking at it from a money standpoint.
He's already old. He's up in age. He's made his money. He could sell WWE to somebody and to some corporation, and they'll turn it strictly children. They'll push it strictly to children. Then you really see some crazy looking belts. You think the belts look bad now? Oh wait, just wait.
I mean,
Just wait.
I don't think so. I think I don't think they would make the same mistake WCW did. I think whoever runs WWE next, they have a mind for wrestling because
I'd
they're not
hope so.
going to make. Yeah, because that was WCW's problem. They let people run it who had no knowledge of wrestling. Hell,
Yeah.
my 2-year-old niece could probably run WCW better than the people they had in the past.
Who was it that wanted to make Ric Flair shave his head bald, put an earring on, and call him Spartacus? Who was that again?
Oh my
Jim
God, that
Jim
was
Herd.
fucking.
Jim
The
Herd.
Jim Herd era.
Yeah.
The
Jim
guy who was
Herd.
the
Oh
guy
my
who was the
God.
manager of a Pizza Hut is
Wow.
running WCW.
Well, Nick Khan is basically running WWE, and he doesn't have any wrestling background. I believe he's not a wrestling person,
Exactly. I mean,
so
I
they're already
don't
halfway there.
I don't understand. I don't understand. Like, look, I'll go as far to say bring back, Bill Watts. I'll take Bill Watts over the shit we're going through right now. I think
Well,
right now,
They really wanted someone that they could get. I'm sure if they paid him enough. Eric Bischoff. He's not doing much right now.
he's not. But I don't think Bischoff really wants to be involved. Like, right now, Bischoff just wants to make his beer, enjoy his, redneck life.
The only way Bischoff would come in, I think, is if he got like an executive role, like above Johnny Laurinaitis, above Nick Khan, above all of these guys, and be head of creative. And
Get rid of Bruce Pritchard.
Well, the true story is that once AO bought up WCW, they wanted to get rid of wrestling. They didn't want nothing to do with wrestling. Eric Bischoff was gonna buy WCW before it was gonna be sold to WWE, and it didn't happen.
their debut rebranding pay-per-view was supposed to be Greed, right? That was the pay-per-view that they were supposed to. Was it
Big
Greed?
Bang.
Was that? Okay,
Big
wait. So the
Bang.
last pay-per-view they did was called Greed.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay,
just
I always
that
get
new-
that confused.
they were
Like
going
the Stars
to
played
do a
as
new
usual.
pay per view in March,
So
and they were
Mikey
going to
started.
call it the Big Bang.
Ah, okay.
The new WCW was going to,
Get yo, bro. Get in the bed. Come on.
Uh-oh.
Somebody's about to get papa.
4-point.
But anyways, so I mean, to put my input in, I mean, like belts like the GAC belts, the Triple Crown belts, they have prestige meaning to it. One of my favorites is also the what it is now is the GAC national title, which is like the second prestige, is like almost having the US title in Pro Wrestling Noah. And it's amazing how, like, you know, with all the title changes, because how Pro Wrestling Know is going right now, as is getting better. And I subscribed to it not too long ago. I think it was Wednesday, or was it Thursday? I think
I think it was Wednesday.
it was Wednesday, right, Mike? Okay, yeah, because I
Yeah.
sent you the link of it. And you know, you also got DDT. They have good belts too. You know, Jun Akiyama being the king of DDT champion,
I
and
think
it's like,
I thought he lost the belt.
no, I think he still has it.
He still. Oh, I thought he
Yeah,
lost it to.
he well, he beat Tetsuya Endo. I don't know how long. I probably was wrong about that one, but
Cheeks
yeah,
and
Cheeks Endo. But you know, it's like, to me, like, I watched a lot of pro wrestling low matches, and the title belts that they have. What it looks now, it looks great.
oh yeah, I mean they
It
only
looks
changed
great.
the GHC heavyweight and the national belt. Yeah, I get the point of it. It's basically the Japanese equivalent to the U.S. title. Even when they, had a decision match for the first champion, Michael Elgin was one of the guys who wrestled for it in the decision match. If people don't, for those who don't remember, you know, because originally it was supposed to have been Moose challenging, but it ended up being Michael Elgin when he was still part of Impact. You know, it's one of those belts where, I mean, yeah, I get it. Keno is doing the storyline where he's against the old people, but I felt like that belt has turned into an old person's belt. I feel like, and this is just me freestyling the comparison. I could be wrong. I would, just because I'm a wrestling historian doesn't mean I'm an expert by all means. But I feel like that the GHC National Championship, the concept of it has been kind of similar to New Japan's Never Openweight title, because originally the Never Openweight Championship was supposed to have been for the younger wrestlers and outside indie talent for never produced shows. But it's been nothing but the older, hard hitting wrestlers with the belt. I mean, the youngest people that have had the belt was what? Naito, Yujiro Takahashi. I mean, I'm trying to think of who else. That's about it. Everyone else that has held the belt has been at least
Didn't Hiroki Goto had the belt, but not when he was young, probably like in his mid 30s.
yeah. It's pretty much been anyone mid 30s and up that has been champion. It's been a who's who.
Shibata.
Tanahashi, Shingo Takagi, Katsuyori Shibata, Togi Makabe, Tomohiro Ishii. The
How many
current
times Ishii has won the belt? That's another. He
shit.
won it like 5 times, right? He's a
He's
5-time
basically
heavyweight.
We're talking about which belt are we talking about?
The never
Never
open weight
open
Oh, the
weight.
champion.
never open weight, man. Oh
Yeah.
man, I love that belt. Like
Ishii-
that belt grew on me.
Ishii recently beat Jay White to become champion again, but I felt like he's been the only guy to bring legitimacy to that belt, because I hate to say it, and I used to say it as an inside joke, but the whole point of the never open weight belt is for guys that will never ever be IWGP heavyweight champion, and if they have been before, it won't be a second time. And so far, that theory's kind of been broken in a way, because past champions like Shingo Takagi, world champion, Tetsuya Naito, world champion,
Yep.
So I've kind of eaten those words to an extent, but like I said, the whole point of the belt, they're not, you know what I'm saying? They're not making it what the theory's supposed to be of the belt, Like I said, our first champion was pushing 40, Masato Tanaka, when he beat Carl Anderson. And mind you, they were the only guys representing New Japan at the time in the tournament like that, because everyone else was either from DDT, Kaientai Dojo, Michinoku Pro, and every other small indie promotion, because they wanted all the young guys. And I kind of wish New Japan went back with that, because before that, before the Never title, they used to have shows called Lions Road. That's what got me. That's what. Yeah, I know you remember Miyagi, and that's what got me into Kota Ibushi, because at that time Kota Ibushi was like 160 pounds soaking wet, doing cartwheel phoenix splashes, but he looked like he's gonna break his leg when doing it because he was so small and malnutrition looking.
Well, he perfected it, bro.
But he was small. But
perfected it though too.
oh, he did. Like, it's crazy how they never gave him a Hayabusa like gimmick, because I'd probably say he has one of the most cleanest landings of a Phoenix splash, of a 450 splash. And I used to love, and to me, I'd say this was probably putting Kota Ibushi on the map as an indie wrestler. But when he was independent junior heavyweight champion, that pretty much put him on the map, because he was the person who made the championship what it was. You know, this was a guy who defended what many larger promotions consider an indie trash belt. He made a defense on a New Japan show. It wasn't a New Japan branded show, but it was produced by New Japan when Riki Choshi did Lockup. Because if you want to check out very overlooked junior heavyweight title matches back in the day, check out the matches that were for the FMW independent junior heavyweight title, when you had guys like Taka Michinoku and Minoru Tanaka and, Funaki. Even Funaki was going for that belt,
Funaki's the man, bro.
Oh, yeah, Funaki
he's a phenomenal dude. I met him 5 times.
Funaki, number 1 SmackDown announcer.
But to me, he's always going to...
And that motherfucker could work.
Oh, yes. Anyone?
Oh, my God, bro.
He's a professional. I love Funaki.
I loved him in Kai and Tai.
It could be a stretch, whatever. He's phenomenal, bro. Like,
I love his work in Kai and Tai DX. Him, Dick Togo, Men's Tail, Taka Michinoku, Kaz Hayashi with a mask gimmick on Shiru. That was... See, now y'all got me wanting to watch some indie junior matches after this show. But, I mean, even then, they made title matches a big deal, even if it's for promotions that people look at as indie trash.
Yeah.
It does, especially Dragon Gate, Kai and Tai Dojo. Like, they take title matches up another level.
I seen a student. One time there was a show with Funaki in it, and a guy that was with him that nobody knew who he was, only Johnny and us. I knew who he was. He was Ultimo Dragon without the mask. So, long story short, there was a new kid, and Funaki brought in Japan. This has to do with the topic, basically. Funaki brought a Japan title that they just made. Nobody's seen it yet. Real diamonds. Literally, like they had a lock safe and all that shit just to open it and take it out. But it was real diamonds, 16 karat diamonds. And I think it was 24 karat gold title. Bro, phenomenal. Made Japan, brand new. The kid, but now for some reason, we all took pictures with it. We allowed to. They told us how to open the safe and all that. Well, this kid came in and was making fun of how this guy looked, and it was Ultimate Dragon. So, long story short, he takes the title and he throws it. Funaki comes and smacks the shit out of him, bro. Like, bro, I never seen Funaki get so mad. But he told him after that smack, you don't disrespect a world title like this, brand new, especially for my country. Blah, blah, blah. He went in, bro. And making fun of a legend and nobody knows who he is. This is Ultimate Dragon. Everybody were like, yeah. Bro, they take the title seriously. And if you just throw it, it's bro.
It's because of the lineage and the prestige.
Exactly. Especially that generation of wrestlers. Like you mentioned, Ultimo Dragon, Funaki, and then so many others from that generation. Ikuto Hidaka and Taka Michinoku and Masaki Mochizuki. Like that lineage. Tiger Mask, Koji Kanemoto, all those guys.
He was making fun of his teeth. That's why.
Funakis or Ultimos?
Ultimos.
But Ultimo got great teeth.
You want me to look at you, bro? We wanna fight against this?
No, I'm going based on photos he posts on like Instagram
No,
because he's always
no,
smiling.
no.
Are you telling me he's got dentures?
New comment ups, like new venture, like new, new technology with teeth and shit. Like,
Oh, veneers.
yes,
He got veneers like
That's,
Roman.
I believe the word you're looking for, sir, is veneers.
veneers. Thank you.
I feel like
Thank
Alex
you,
Trebek. Yeah, veneers. Boop, 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 boop.
He's
I'll
got
take
veneers
title
like
belts for
Roman.
Thank you,
800,
Mikey.
Alex.
Nobody heard me.
But yes, that day was learning history where you don't disrespect the legend, you don't disrespect the title, especially even if it's brand new. Never disrespect any titles, bro. You don't just throw it and
Well, the
If
title.
it's coming in a fucking safe, why would you throw it to
The
the
title. The title is what they wrestle for, what they fight for.
Yeah.
So if you disrespect the title, then you're basically shitting on the
Shitting on
sport
it.
of professional wrestling.
Yes, basically.
If we're gonna get technical here, just go straight for it.
Yeah, but like I was saying, to Jerry's, he's a dentist, so he fixes everybody's teeth. I don't know if anybody knew it. Mike was the one that put me on
Mm-hmm.
to that history. I don't know if he froze the.
Do you guys know Great Khali is a cop in his country?
Really?
Did you know that?
No, I had no
And
idea.
he got shot 3 times in his chest. You don't notice the 3 bullet holes he has in
He
his
got shot?
Yes. You did not know that?
No.
It froze
I
up.
didn't.
It froze up while you had mentioned the name. I didn't hear the name.
Great Khali.
Oh yeah, I knew that because
He's a cop in his country and he had got shot. That's why he got 3 bullet holes in his chest.
That's
Yeah, you
insane.
don't notice, base? He got 3 like dentals in his chest, bro.
No, I didn't know.
Oh yeah,
I kind of seen it before. I didn't figure.
and because of that, if I remember correctly, he had to take steroids just to heal his body up.
Yes.
Because when
That's
was
why
in
he got so huge too. On top of that,
because when he was in New Japan as Giant Singh, and
he wasn't that big.
No, but he was more ripped though. He had more definition. He leaned out. Even when he was in the longest
He had
yard.
definition, but he started getting more definition after he took those steroids after he got shot.
Oh yeah, because in the longest yard, that dude was jacked.
What? Oh my god!
As soon as he was standing there, he said, "Oh!"
You didn't know this base? You didn't know he got shot, base?
No, I didn't know. I had no idea he was shot.
Yes.
That's insane.
Fucking cop, bro. Like really, like no. Everybody's like, oh, he's slow, bro. He'll shoot, like he'll fight you and shoot your ass. I'll tell you that much. Probably kill you too.
And I don't think that's the first wrestler I've heard. I mean, Mustafa Ali was a cop. Rico Constantino was a cop.
That's believable. Mustafa Ali being a police officer. He has that demeanor. I think he has that.
He lived in Chicago.
And I mean, also I kind of cheated. I knew
like
this
Scotty
from an interview.
Tuhati's a fireman.
Davey Richards is a fireman and an EMT.
That's amazing. Incredible to learn these things. See, look, I'm a younger guy. I'm not much younger than you guys, but like you guys have a little bit more knowledge than me.
We're all young. We're young, guys.
It's like Montez Ford being a former Marine.
The oldest guy here right now is Jesse.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Montez
That's
Ford,
my big bro right there.
Veteran.
Why you got the sad face?
I'm trying to get the facial hair like J-Rod.
Why you got the sad face, man?
It's No Shave November.
Yeah, well, I'd have to not shave for like a year to get what he's got.
He has a good beard, though. I ain't in front.
I'm telling you.
It's more like mustache writing.
This is like a month of growth right here, guys. Look.
This is a month of growth too. I'm with you there, base. Trust me.
I'm trying to get on Ciampas and Brian Johnson's level
I'm trying to get like Jesse. I'm trying to get to Jesse status, bro. Yeah, I get so jealous when I see like a Rick Ross good beard. I'm like, fuck, bro. Why?
Yeah, well, I mean, come on.
Hustling.
Because I'm a bushy man.
He's a bushy man.
They call him bushy
man. He's a bushy man.
Tell my way to ride the mustache.
Oh, DJ Mustache over there. All right, see you, fam.
But how do you feel about color titles that they're making right now, guys. Like the SmackDown. I really don't like it, bro. I think it's just
These are just like
too cartoonish.
Which one?
It's just like toy belts.
Both the
Man.
Raw and SmackDown, bro. All those
Really?
color titles. I think they're too cartoonish, man.
Oh yeah, because it's branding. It's branding. They want you to know because we're dumb. We don't know that we're watching Raw on Monday. The belt's red, guys. Don't forget what you're watching because all of our products are going down the tubes fast.
Exactly.
So we have to we
Now,
need the color recognition to
The
know
tag
what
titles
we're watching.
The tag titles they had when they did the draft the first time, that was a whole lot better. That had more originality and definition. Whereas the belts that were used now, it's the same belts, it's just on a different strap. Yes, once again, WWE is insulting our intelligence. Let's
Yes,
be
they are.
honest. If you can name 3 titles that had a colored strap to it, I guarantee you those titles are either early WWE or non-WWE. I guarantee you, I bet my rent money on it. Because number 1 on my list will be the white strap WWF Intercontinental title.
That's
yeah.
actually a good title.
That's
That's
why
actually a
Cody
good
brought
title.
it back. That's why Cody brought it back.
Yeah, because it had a lot of meaning to it.
He should
I
have
don't-
brought that shit to AEW, man.
I mean,
Yeah,
that
he gets
was
sued.
the backstory of behind the TNT belt being red strap. Because
Really?
because the NWA
The
World
NWA belt was a red strap. It also had a black strap, but it did have a red
Mhm.
strap.
but the
I
red
thought it was
strap
the
was pretty
national
much
title, but yeah.
yeah. That was more a tribute to his dad.
And I
than
think
me.
that's also the inspiration for the Red Sonja as
You
well.
know how
red
crazy that
strap.
is, guys? I'm going to be honest with you. To have a father that's a legend like that, Jesus Christ, legend, the man. Like, fuck that. Like, guy
Yes,
made
sir.
boots. The guy made fucking dots look pretty. Besides that, I'm just saying, hey, he made titles look phenomenal. But to get to disrespect, to own your father's name, knowing he passed, and you still use his name,
And he
Make
never
it to
got to
shit.
see him win. He never got to see him win the title. They didn't give him that.
So Namir.
bro, like it's fucked up, bro. Like how a man that powerful and grimy could take your father's legacy and just make it to shit. I'm sorry, Vince. You like what Base said earlier. You're destroying your creation. Why?
Mm-hmm. It
Wow.
doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense to me at all.
You want to die destroying your shit without giving it to Shane, without giving it to Steph? Like, they deserve this, even though behind the scenes, and I'm just going to let y'all know, they're all not really kind of related. If y'all know the history, they're actors, supposedly, but they're legitimate his kids. Why would you just destroy your creation like that? Your father, you stole this from your dad. I fuck that. You did made it better. You made it to cable and everything else. But why would you destroy titles and history when you die? Like, that's what I'm seeing. Like, when you die, you just don't want nobody to take your creation, which I
Maybe-
understand.
Maybe he's not taking
But-
it seriously. I mean, if you look at the history of Vince McMahon of wrestling, I mean, you look at the golden era. How to me, all right, I'll tell you this. Yesterday, I had a great conversation with somebody that works in
Yeah,
my
I will
site.
have a great conversation on that with Johnny Rocks, but go ahead.
I will soon enough, but it's when that happens. So when soon enough, it's like the conversation I had with this gentleman. It was like talking about prestige belts, not only just belts, but like to make the matches and how the belts made the person or the person made the belt. Like for example, Triple H said it best. It's the man who makes the belt. He makes the championship belt. I'm gonna explain you why he said that. He said that if you are a man like that's making, that's cutting great hellacious promos, who's out there in the ring telling the story, having great ring psychology, and even especially being a heel, you're getting so much heat.
Oh yeah.
Triple H had great heat in between the Ruthless Aggression era and the Attitude era, because if you look at all the matches he had, he made that championship belt look great.
It
Like,
did help.
It made sense.
It
It
did
made
help.
sense.
Granted, when he really started getting his push, he had a woman bodyguard in a generation where it wasn't like a snowflake generation. Now people were like, your bodyguard's a woman. You're a big buff dude, and your bodyguard's a woman. Oh, we don't like you now. It's genius psychology.
Genius.
You making me even hate him even more.
Yeah. See?
Especially when he
Doing
was
his
in the
job.
Continental title before he,
Nobody
he
on your base, I
Yeah.
tip my hat to you for that, brother, because nobody people nowadays don't understand why Triple H is so it. You know what I'm saying? The guy made history. Bringing up
He also turned a kayfabe relationship on TV into a real relationship backstage with the
did.
boss's daughter. Dumped his actual girlfriend. Had an alleged affair. The man's a heel, like to the bone. So
he's a heel in real life.
he
too.
earned all of his heat.
had a bodyguard woman and just dumped and made history. And bro, why would you, like I said earlier, why would you kill your phenomenal gift?
That was really his creation. It was his father's creation.
Bro, he made it better. You don't understand. Johnny Rock would definitely tell you
about it,
he made it better.
If you think about it, yes, he made it better because it was given to him.
Yeah.
It wasn't given to him, brother. He took that from his father. Bro, I don't care anybody says that. Mike, do you agree with me on this? And please do. He stole that shit after the last pay-per-view of AEW, bro.
Oh, Cody?
No, I'm talking about Vince. He stole WWF. Not 2 W's, 3 WWF from his father.
When it was Worldwide Wrestling Federation. Oh,
Thank you.
No brainer.
He stole that from his dad. Said, I could get a big business thing and I'm going to do it without your consent. He says that, bro.
And he waited for him to pass away to then compete against all of the promotions that his father promised they'd never compete against. CM Punk shot on live television about this.
And you know what the crazy part is? You want to know one of the main reasons why
So J-Rod, I'm sorry, bro. You was wrong on that.
Well, see, the only reason why I say this, J-Rod, the only reason why I say this, now,
it wasn't given to him.
We're now seeing the whole
Vince was poor. Vince was a fucking poor fuck.
And not just that. If you really wanted to make big money as a wrestling promotion, what acronym was associated with the Worldwide Wrestling Federation? Anybody? How many promotions? No. How many promotions do we know, past and present, broke away from them?
Broke away? Oh, that's a good question. Damn. The one.
World Class Championship Wrestling?
Nope. Hold up. They broke away from this promotion I'm about to mention.
Okay.
The WWF. The moment the father passed away, Vince broke away because it was part of the NWA.
National Wrestling.
Look how many promotions. World Class did it, ECW did it, WCW did it, TNA's done it, Ring of Honor's done it, New Japan's done it, All Japan's done it. Everyone has broke. Whenever it's time to make that big money, and they don't want to pay that deposit to the National Wrestling Alliance, which a lot of promotions.
Wow, I'm going to give you a hug for that, Mike. This is history here. Yes.
Yeah, because what people don't know, if your promotion is affiliated with the NWA, you got to pay the NWA just to use their acronym on your logo. That's why a lot of those promotions left once they started getting some vamp from it. Same thing with Shinya Hashimoto with the NWA. Now they went ass backwards when they brought the AWA in, but it's an ongoing pattern. Everybody breaks away from the NWA. They get what they can off of it, and then once they're tired of paying that monthly fee, They break away from them. Every promotion that I just stated that we all know and love did the exact same thing. Vince was the first to
Yes,
do
he
it.
wanted to do
was.
it.
Told ya. Look, I'm glad you made me right now, basically. He stole that
Oh,
shit
yeah.
in his dad.
Oh yeah, not only were you right, but I had to make sure that I had to add on to it because it's facts. Vince was the one who started the trend of everyone who got tired of the NWA promotion to break away from it. Vince started
And
it.
said, I don't need you.
And then he tried to put the nail in the coffin when Black Saturday happened.
Yes, he did.
WTBS Saturday night. Yeah,
Come on, J Rod, you should know this, bro.
I know
Yeah,
because it was World Championship Wrestling at that time.
yeah, because
You
when
just
World
don't want to
Championship
admit that he
Wrestling was
stole that
number
from his
four.
dad.
And sadly, the NWA paid Vince McMahon $1 million just so they can have it back.
It's facts.
Guess what? Here's the funny part. Guess what Vince did with that $1 million?
He funded
Guess what he did with it?
WrestleMania.
Boom!
Come on,
He
everybody
used
knows
the
that.
money to create the showcase of the Immortals.
And that was a gamble.
Yep.
That was a gamble. He
and
didn't
the
know if he was
NW
going to make his money back.
Oh,
He
I
made his
think he
money
would've.
back more.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
made it back in tenfold because he used that money to bring in the celebrities.
You know what? I'm gonna say what Jay-Z said. Nigga, he's still spending money from that time.
Oh, yeah.
Mhm. Especially when he did that deal with MTV, the Brawl for It All.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he basically beat the NWA to the punch of having a major company like MTV to broadcast their stuff. The Brawl for It All before WrestleMania, you could Cyndi Lauper being part of it, Mr. T, like they went to the bank with
Oh,
everything
yes, they
that
did.
and Vince was smart about it. There was no way WrestleMania was going to fail. It was not going to fail. It was not because everything that was on the marquee delivered. And all because of the NWA. So, yeah, Vince, and think about it. Think about it. With the exception of the AWA. Look at all of the territories Vince took away and shut down. What companies were they associated with? NWA.
Oh, NWA would.
Think
was
about
asso-
it.
They
Think
were-
about it.
NWA had a
they were,
lot of
they were
associations,
associated
though.
with a lot of the Southern promotions.
And not just that, a lot of the
It was a
territories.
JC.
Vince
It
was
a
taking
JCP,
all the
was bigger.
territories in the Midwest. He was taking the territories in the California, Texas, the Mid-Atlantic region, what he could get that WCW already had. And of course, he brought him up to New York. And they were all NWA promotions. This ain't no conspiracy theory. Let's just be real.
I mean, not only that, because the thing is that when Jim Crockett sold his promotion with Georgia Championship Wrestling and Florida Championship Wrestling made it to World Championship Wrestling, was bought by who else? Ted Turner, right?
With Mid-Atlantic.
With Mid Atlantic too, because the Mid Atlantic territories were JCP.
Mm-hmm.
The Carolinas, Georgia, Alabama, Florida, that was all
Tennessee.
Jim Crockett. Tennessee, Virginia, West Virginia.
Mm-hmm.
You know, basically the Mid Atlantic colonies. They never touched New York, New Jersey, or Connecticut because that was all WWF
Mm-hmm.
at that time. That was Vince's territory, and why you barely saw any like Southern promotions go up north to do that, but they kind of broke away with a little bit because, like I said, Ted Turner also had money too. That was the competition. The only problem with WCW was the people that were booking and running the shows back from, let's say, like late 80s, like 89, probably to like 93, 92, 94, somewhere around there. But it got better between 92 and 93 because after Jim Herd, it was the Bill Watts era, as we speak.
Mm-hmm.
When you see there was no padding outside the ring and over the top rope was disqualification. That was the only thing that kind of killed it.
Yeah, and then and a lot of people can give a lot of shit for Bill Watts for bringing back the NWA, and then I mean there were some, and just hear me out. There was probably more pros and cons, more pros Den cons with the Bill Watts era compared to Jim Herd. You know, not as much as K. Allen Fry, but then of course Bischoff, he took it to another up. But think about it. Look at the pros when during the Bill Watts era, we had first Black World Champion. They made the NWA relevant again. They did probably one of the best tag team tournaments ever, the NWA World Tag Team Title Tournament, and they made it to where it had an international flair to it because we had teams from Japan, we had teams from Canada, we had teams from the U.S., we had the supposed Dominican Republic. If me and J-Rod used to joke on that, J-Rod said, "Yo, they ain't Dominican. Those are two fat white guys in masks."
Which was true.
Oh my gosh.
Which was true because if you heard what happened when Tony Schiavone explained the whole situation of that tournament, they had a watch along during for that tournament. And Tony Schiavone explained that there were two big fat white guys behind the mask. They weren't really Dominican. They didn't really speak Spanish or nothing. You know, and the same thing with the Puerto Rican team. We don't even know what happened with that because they were supposed to wrestle Gordian and Williams in the tournament, and they didn't. So they had a bye, and they ended up wrestling because, like I said, that tournament between that tournament was like what World NWA WCW
and
tag
NWA World. It was for the NWA World Tag Titles, and the winners of the tournament were, WCW World Tag Champions Williams and Gordy.
I mean that was phenomenal. That was phenomenal booking too because they were representing All Japan Pro Wrestling, which not too many people knew about that.
And then
they were also tag belts in All Japan.
And not just that, one of the matches they went against a New Japan tag team, or New Japan WCW, Liger and Pillman.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was a good tag team. They were in the junior heavyweight division.
Oh yeah, because there were some of those tag teams were like who's of people we never thought we would see, like Nikita Koloff and Ricky Steamboat as a tag team. That
was the first time I've seen Chris Benoit too.
Yeah, Chris Benoit and the late both, and it's sad. Both of the Canadian teams are no longer with us.
The first match I ever seen Benoit was with Diamond Kid. My grandmother was watching one of her old tapes. I was lucky to be that young to see that match.
My first singles match that I saw was with.
That's who I found out who Diamond Kid was. I swear to God, they look like they're twins.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Dynamite Kid versus
Pegasus. Have you seen their nephews?
Yes, I've seen all the kids.
Mark and Tom Billington, the Billington Bulldogs. Yo, Tom Billington looked just like Dynamite Kid. Face, hair, everything. But yeah, I'd probably have to say the first time I saw Benoit was Clash of the Champions versus Brad Armstrong. And it was the first time I saw him pop that dragon suplex hold. And I was like, what was that? And I used to practice that move all the time on the pillows and the wrestling buddies.
Yeah, I remember that Clash of the Champions match.
Oh, yeah, because I thought that was like
I think it was mid-card. It was like the opening, I think. That
Clash it was like a mid-card opening.
Was it 91 or 92?
I want to say 92 because it was during the Bill Watts era. There was
because I had to be. Yeah, because that had to be after the tournament. I think it happened because I remember watching him in the tournament. Trying to remember who the hell they wrestled that night. I gotta go back and watch it. Benoit and Wellington.
They went up against Liger and Pillman in the tournament.
Liger and Pillman, okay, yeah.
Yeah, Liger won with the moonsault press on. I think it was Beef Wellington.
It was a good match too.
Yeah, and it's crazy because that was another underrated
guy. I got good news and bad news, but the bad news is just funny. It's not really bad news, guys.
Okay, bad news, Barrett.
J-Rod.
What?
Remember you said, I think it was the 27th or the 24th?
The 27th.
27th. It's official goal. Johnny Rod put it.
All right, 27th.
27th.
The bad news was get your ass over here next week. Nah, that's it.
speaking of news, I noticed our reporter Joey 13. Should I crack out the voice for you guys?
Go ahead.
Alrighty.
Breaking news by Mike Cook.
As seen on Mike World Order Live. And in the breaking news, J-Rod and Base Kid will be teaming up against Mr. Miyagi and Mike Thunder in a tag team match, and that is next. Holla, holla, holla.
Live on MWO TV.
Mother.
Shiny Wizard.
Shining wizards everywhere.
So yeah, J-Rod, we got a lot of talk about for Johnny, and
We'll talk about that
Base
after the
Kid
show.
is gonna be us, all of us, gonna be talking to this phenomenal man. Remember, this man knows history, where he used to shine shoes for a living just to get into the Madison Square Garden, just to get there, bro, and to make phenomenal matches with fucking who else? Andre the Giant. And to talk about gold and titles and diamonds, that man right there, Johnny Rods, guys, will definitely have a phenomenal conversation about world titles, the respect of the business, and Puerto Rico, and how he was the first in history Latino world champion to beat Hulk Hogan in Madison Square Garden. Guys, this is going to be phenomenal to talk about this guy that I personally love and talk to, is Johnny Rods.
No relation. Because we have the
No
same last name. Now back to because I'm looking at what Mikey Starr says. Yeah, he's convinced that Vince McMahon is gonna sell his company.
Oh, he's gonna kill it. He's gonna kill it.
He's gonna inject the poison.
The lethal poison, yeah.
DM.
Imagine Mikey Starks asking Johnny Rods questions in the chat. That would be some phenomenal, funny stuff there, guys.
Hey, kid.
Excuse me.
Hey, Base Kid.
What's going on?
So how would Mikey sound if you were to ask Rod questions, Johnny Rods?
Well, it depends what kind of question. What would he ask?
I don't know. What would be a typical Mikey Starks question? Like,
Come on, this is a Hall of Famer, 1996, man. What would Mikey Starks ask Johnny Rods?
he'd probably ask him, so what does it feel like to be, the guy who trained like Team 3D? I want to know. And do you think you can train me? I need to get some leg extensions because I'm 5'3", but I think
This guy trains fucking Roddy Piper, bro.
Oh yeah, Roddy Piper was a man.
He was it.
Speaking of Latino wrestlers, Miyagi,
He was number one, though, guys.
I get it.
It wasn't Colon. It was Johnny Rods, guys. First Latino, Puerto Rican.
Colon. But I want to pick your brain on something, Miyagi.
Which one? I'm ready for it.
Since we're on the subject of Latino wrestlers, J-Rod,
Give it to me, Papa.
you guys can join in on the discussion too. But recently we celebrated the anniversary of the late Eddie Guerrero's passing.
He's my fucking man right there, bro.
I get that.
I knew he was gonna act something phenomenal.
But here's my thing, though.
What's good, bro?
I know a lot of us fans on the show don't watch a lot of classic AAA, and they don't remember the whole Los Gringos Locos faction.
I know I do.
Or the La Pareja de Terror that he had with Art Barr. And I remember watching these matches, and a lot of the mannerisms Art Barr was doing was the same mannerisms that Eddie was doing later on in his career, especially since Art invented the frog splash. Mm-hmm. But had Art Barr not passed away at age 27, weeks after the When Worlds Collide pay-per-view, or for me people or for the people in Espanol, Cuando Mudal de Chocan, do you think
Say that again, bro? Say that one more time. Try to say it one more time.
I think it was Cuando Mundal Chocan for When Worlds Collide. I know mi español is
no bueno.
No bueno, papi.
No bueno, papi.
Look,
all I know is Puerto Rican and Dominican.
You're trying, though. You're trying. I'll give it to you.
He'd be
My
on that
Spanish is only good when I'm getting me some food or if I'm hitting on the ladies at the cafeteria because they're
I
on
get
the
it, bro.
That's the
I
look.
get it. I
For
get
some
it. I get it.
reason, my Spanish is on point when talking to them. Because as soon as I walk in, they're like, "Hola, Mikey Chulo. Hola, Pandacito." Like, oh man, they be hooking a dude
Really,
up
they
with
say pandacito.
panda because they say I remind them of a panda. Because they thought I was Asian, but they also thought
I
I was
get
Puerto
it. I
Rican.
get it, brother.
Look, and I'm gonna tell you
But
what, I know one of them loved me because some breakfasts I get half an avocado, and you know the code about that. If a Latina gives you a half avocado, that means she like you.
That's a
And
big
I've been
deal.
getting like 2 avocados a week, half avocado, which means she like me, man. Even though she's like 56, she's still cute. She don't even look it.
Damn, you
But she like me,
getting
man.
hit on the grannies too. Damn.
you getting
Yeah,
hit
man,
by
she be
women, bro.
hooking. Yo,
And
she be
but
hooking the
yo, you'd
dude
be
up.
surprised because most of these grandmas
They don't look it.
they don't look
But
their age.
anywho,
Generations changed.
but back on topic though. Had
Please.
Art Barr not passed away, because like I said, a lot of the mannerisms Eddie took over later on in his career were basically early Art Barr in Mexico. By any chance, do you think Eddie would have had the career he had now if Art Barr was still alive?
Yes.
I'm gonna be
I don't think
honest
so.
with you.
I don't think
I
Yes.
so.
don't. I'm like half on half on it because I'm gonna tell you why. Because the thing is that if Arbar didn't have the allegations he had years before, and would not be in Mexico, he'll probably still be in the U.S. as the juicer or whatever character they had him as. It's like, you know, if you think about it, like Eddie Guerrero was basically on his own. Not to mention, Eddie Guerrero had a match in NWA for the first time against Terry Funk back in '89, and it was again in World Championship Wrestling show on Saturday night, 6:05 p.m. TBS. But if you go back and remember that he was one of the Guerreros that, but he was not mentioned as that. He was only mentioned just Eddie Guerrero with a Y, which was funny because it's like if he didn't have the career Arbar did not have the career he did in Lucha Libre and possibility to be teamed up with Eddie Guerrero, if those two guys didn't pair each other, there's a possibility they would have gotten signed somewhere else.
Mhm.
Right before Art's death,
Why
they
is
were
the
supposed to
reason why Eddie's famous and there's only one person that made him famous? Do you guys know who that is?
Now you're going before my time.
in terms
Do
of
you
like
know who
training.
his brother is?
I mean, Mondo.
Do
There's
you know who his brother is?
Hector Guerrero.
Yes. Eddie was going to be famous regardless, J-Rod,
I
just
mean,
because who his brother was.
this is also the
Hector
same
was the man. Hector was the legend in Mexico.
in
Still
Mexico,
to this
but
day.
yeah, I
Also
agree. But
also
in
in Japan too,
America,
because he
if you
wrestled in
remember,
Japan.
And yes, in Japan as well. Yes,
but
thank you, J-Rod.
here's the thing though. For most American wrestlers during that time frame, other than his WCW jobber run, before then in America, he was
And he
just known
wasn't
as
called the Guerrero either before he was wrestling.
well, no, not
Yeah.
just that. If you
He
remember his
wore the
American,
mask too. Do you know that?
yeah, but if you think about the majority of his American career, let's not forget Lasertron when he was NWA World Junior
Ooh.
Champion. And let's not forget the Gobbledygooker at Survivor Series 1990. And then, of course, him being a jobber in WCW. And then, of course, him doing
You're
some
the
stuff
man, bro.
in
You're the man, bro.
NWA.
Thank you for
Black
But
Tiger Mask
that.
in
Good
New
comeback.
Japan.
Good
Don't
comeback.
forget about
yeah,
that too.
I was about to say, in Mexico, I agree with you. Japan, UK, I agree with you. But in America, he was either a jobber or they gave him a mediocre gimmick.
Yes.
Once again, this goes back
ECW
to
made him famous too.
yeah, but mind you, had it not happened, had it been for Art Barr's death, because originally after When Worlds Collide, WCW and ECW and New Japan were going to sign Art Barr and Eddie Guerrero as a tag team because they were that over in Mexico. I mean, mind you, Art Barr was the guy who was known for taking off El Santo's mask and tombstoning him. And then people wanted him dead for it. And like I said, if you watch a lot of Art Barr matches from that era, it's the same shit you see Eddie do later on in his career when he first turned heel. When he turned heel in WCW, that was all Art Barr mannerisms. Even some of the stuff you saw in WWF was a lot of Art Barr mannerisms, especially like promos and everything.
And a little bit of his own.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying all of it's Art Barr, but some of it. I mean, even Art Barr invented the frog splash.
Yes, he
He
did.
did
He
it in
made it
tribute.
better though.
Oh yeah,
But
don't
he
get
did
me wrong.
he
I
did
love
it in
Eddie's
tribute
version.
for Art Barr.
He
Eddie's
made that
version
shit
was better.
phenomenal. Fuck
Because-
a 5-star. He
Oh,
made
yeah,
that
don't-
shit phenomenal.
Don't get me wrong, because his is more technical and all that. I like Eddie's version.
It was more of an
Because-
impact. It hurts.
Oh yeah,
And then get me wrong. The 5-star slash, I felt I took the little breath out of me, but I never got so pinned after an impact like that from so smooth, and it hurts
oh
from
yeah.
Eddie, bro.
You can tell with Eddie's, there's deep impact, and even before the frog splash, I think what was his finisher? The Splash
His
Mountain.
moonsault hurt.
You know, the way he would spike you with that power bomb.
Facts. Oh, for him to be that small, he power bombed me, bro. I'm
Yeah.
6'2".
That
So-
folding power bomb.
Jesse, look, tell Mike how tall I am.
He's
I'm
about
tall.
I've
6'1", 6'2".
seen your photos. You're a tall dude.
Bro, for me to get spiked power bomb from a guy that's 5'4", 5'3", bro.
That sounds painful.
It
Bro.
is.
Hey, bro, dead weight. I gave him. He told me, give me all the dead weight you could give me. I was like,
Yeah, him and
Bro.
Benoit, the way that they do that power bomb, the way they fold
Bro.
you when they
That's
do
a violent power bomb if you're
thank
allowing
you, kid.
your
Kid,
body.
it hurt.
If
It
you're
hurt.
not pushing off the way you're supposed to, and you're acting as dead weight, and the guy can get you up into a power bomb position, you're coming down with force.
But
And
you know
especially in the Japanese wrestling rings, it would even hurt even worse.
That's the tuck your chin special right
All
there.
And
he
you
told me
know-
was tuck your neck in, bro.
exactly.
Alright.
Tuck your chin. Tuck your
And you
chin.
know who
Land on your
invented that
shoulders.
version? And you know who invented that version of the power bomb too, J-Rod? Because you're Mr. All Japan Bias Jones. You already know who started that version.
It was the Gonzo bomb at first,
No.
but then
Tenru.
but it was Tenru, yeah.
Tenru
But it
Come
was
on,
it was
bro.
called the Gonzo bomb because it was a botched power bomb at first.
Fucking like
That
There was
was
mama
history about
told
it.
me.
But
I'm
Tenru
glad.
was the one that
My mom gave
invented
me the
the
news.
Yeah,
You're
power
playing
bomb.
Thunder, right?
Yeah, but Tenru's been doing the snap power bomb since the early 90s. Genso
And then
bomb didn't
Kawano-
hit until yeah,
Kawano
Genso bomb didn't hit
found it.
until mid. Even though we saw Rude do it first at SummerSlam '89, but Kawada did that in like mid 90s. That folding power bomb's been going on since WrestleMania 7, buddy. That was
Well, no, it was before
That's before my
WrestleMania
time,
7.
guys.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. But
It was before WrestleMania 7. He was doing that in the late 80s in Japan and on Japan with
that
his matches
folding-
with
and the way he
Saruta.
would fold you.
Yeah,
and then-
his matches against he had a lot of
Shit.
matches with Saruta too in the late 80s.
Oh yeah, because that was their generation. Saruta, Mitsuo Momoda, Rikidozan Jr. My bad. That generation, yeah, they didn't. Seiji Sakaguchi, Antonio Inoki, they didn't fuck around.
That was the greatest. That was the
Masa
greatest generation.
Saito,
Masa
you
Saito, the Saito suplex.
the Saito
You
suplex
guys are
and
taking it
all
way
that.
back now.
Yeah, because without Masa Saito, we would never see Katsuhiko Nakajima and Masa Kitamiya from Pro Wrestling Noah, because them boys idolized Masa Saito.
Then you had Ricky Choshu, who invented the Scorpion Deathlock.
Oh yeah, the Sasori Gatame.
The Sasori, that's what it was called. Sasori got to me.
Mhm.
And mind you, these some of the wrestlers were kind of well liked because the thing about me and Mike, we're talking about wrestling history. If you want to go back, these guys were Sainichi Korean. Ricky
Oh, yeah,
Choshu,
some of these guys.
Koji
Choshu.
Kanemoto, Akira Maeda, who invented UWF with Satoru Sayonama.
Ricky Dozan.
Ricky Dozan was saying that was the surprising. When I read the history, I was like, wait, Ricky Dozan was Korean?
Yep.
Like, holy
He had to
crap.
lie about it because he was trying to be a sumo
You know.
wrestler. Because he originally wanted to go into sumo before he became a wrestler, which
And
once
yeah,
again, that trend was going on. Tenru was a sumo wrestler before he did pro wrestling. Seiji Sakaguchi. For him to be as tall as he
Akira
is,
Taiwe,
yeah, Kira Taue, sumo,
Tenru,
you know, Tenru, sumo, you know,
big guys too.
Earthquake.
John Tenta, yeah, he was a sumo
Yeah,
wrestler.
John
John
Tenta
Tenta,
was a sumo wrestler,
Canadian sumo wrestler.
because he couldn't get rid of his tattoo, he was supposed to have been ranked Yokozuna. But because the taboo in Japan with tattoos, yes, they were able to let him tape it up, but they're saying he had to remove it completely. He didn't want to,
It's not off.
you know. Now, mind you, in 2021, they pretty much allow tattoos in sports because now it's like a trend. Whereas before it was looked at as a taboo. Otherwise, you wouldn't see guys like Yukio Sakaguchi wrestling in like the 80s because he's tatted up from back to shoulders and his chest. So yeah, I mean,
Yeah, guys
it
like
all goes way
Zeus,
back.
Bodyguard.
I mean,
Guys are fully tatted up.
with the bright blonde hair, that's basically Yakuza right there, or as they call it, the Yankee. You know, because in Japanese pro wrestling, if you dye your hair blonde, you're pretty much going heel
Okay,
because
so
it's supposed to look evil.
Yeah. Well,
You know.
also in Japanese culture, it's a sign of rebellion.
Yes,
Bleaching your hair.
They couldn't let me take right there.
oh yeah, it's a big sign of
It's very taboo.
rebellion or going against. But I like it though
It looks
because
cool.
especially guys like Toru Yano, who the majority of his career he's been blonde.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Makabe.
I'll even go as far as I remember a storyline that was used in Toryumon Japan that had to do with blonde hair. That was probably one of their biggest storylines. So Miyagi, you feel like learning a little bit of Japanese wrestling tonight
Yeah,
in terms of
as much time we got, we almost done.
yeah. So right now, so here, check this out, right? So if Miyagi was a pro wrestler in Japan, he would either
Yes,
be
like
looked
that.
at.
You talking about the Pat?
I'm talking about the blonde hair. So
You said
he would be looked at as two things. He would be looked at either as a major heel or a badass baby face. Because if you look at blonde haired wrestlers in Japan, you're either one or the other. There's no middleman. In 2003 in Toryumon, Japan.
I heard in the country that's disrespectful.
Yeah, because they look at you as a Yankee, a gang member, Yakuza. But there was a storyline that was going on in 2003 where one of the wrestlers broke character in the storyline by dyeing his hair blonde and actually got in trouble with CIMA before because of
I can imagine.
So there was a
How much do you think the fine was?
Did
he get fined for that?
No. They just all they did was make the storyline even better in the end.
And destroy him in media, basically.
Oh no, he didn't get destroyed. It just if anything, it just made the storyline better. It really made it better because at the time, Toryumon Japan bought out Toryumon 2000 project. So a lot of the wrestlers were moved to the main roster. One of them was Jun Ogawachi, who ended up joining Crazy Max as June. And there was a storyline where he was feuding against Shuji Kondo over the British Junior Commonwealth belt, which came from Canadian Stampede Wrestling. So there was a storyline where because he was a T2P original, the heel group that Kondo was in was all of the bad guys from T2P. And they're like pretty much telling June, join us. All of them had like different hairstyles. Kondo had the red hair, Brother Yashi had the dreadlocks, you know. And at the time, all of them changed their hair blonde except for Owashi. But then there was during the tag league was going on, and it was Shima and June as a tag team. And June would always wear like a hoodie to the ring. But then on that match that they had, he took his hoodie off and his hair was blonde.
Mm.
And at the end of the match, Shima broke character and was like talking shit about it and literally smacked them in the face and then smacked them upside the head.
I can imagine.
Asked them, why did you like dye your hair blonde for real? June ended up walking out of the ring and they were like, hey, come back.
What's going on, Luna?
So at the end of they ended up turning that into like a bigger storyline out of it. All because June broke character because he thought it was an idea that he thought would work and they turned it down. So he did it anyways. Fast forwarded a month later, June dyed his hair black, beat Kondo for the British Junior Commonwealth title, and got a big push until he injured his back and had to retire. Which a lot of wrestlers would mention they think that was more of a shoot how he got injured because they didn't like how he broke character dyeing his hair blonde during a storyline.
Wasn't this during like a Dragon Gate Tournament Japan? Was this during the Tournament Japan or when?
Yeah, this was Tournament Japan 2003. This was late 2003 when they did the first ever Rey de Parejas tag league, which was won by Kondo and Yashi.
You caught that Spanish word on point too. Good one.
Huh?
That was a good Spanish word. You said that.
Oh, the king of tag teams, the king of partners. Yeah, and it was literally the tag teams had to do with. It was a tournament where it was strange bedfellows. You had a Toryumon guy teaming with a T2P guy, and you had people who were enemies teaming with each other because they all wanted to take down Shuji Kondo and Brother Yashi. Like everyone was taking sides just to take them down.
Luna Bombay.
You know, it was an interesting storyline. It really was. All because Taboo was broken in the storyline.
That's crazy.
And
I think I heard about that storyline before.
Yeah, and I don't care what anyone said. June got injured. I think that was a shoot because the same shit happened with why all members of Agon Iso got fired. Because all of them ended up doing the same thing with Naoki Tanizaki. They beat the shit out of them during the match. And then a week later, they all got fired.
That sounds like similar with Taru in All Japan. Remember that his story?
Taru story? And Nobukazu Harai when he was using the hate gimmick. Taru beat the shit out of him so bad he had a stroke backstage.
Yeah.
And because of that, Voodoo Murders got, broken. Minoru had to vacate the World Junior Heavyweight title.
I hope everything did.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy because I was watching a match between F4 and this was after, I think.
Oh, my God.
When Kojima was part of Voodoo Murders. It was Voodoo Murders versus F4. And then I see some familiar faces, especially Rene Dupree. Shout out to Rene Dupree.
Yeah, Rene Dupree was part of the Voodoo Murders.
Yeah, he had the red hair and everything. He was like, he was part of that gimmick. He looked great. Yeah, he looked great. And the guy who played Jesus in Carlito's bodyguard,
Aaron Aguilera,
is known as Zodiac. Yeah, is known as Zodiac. I was just watching the whole storyline of it because I got bored when I was like, I had to watch some old school Old Japan from like the 2000s.
Yeah, because at one point, All Japan was making all the WWE rejects look good with the factions. Because you had RO&D, which was Taka, Jamal, Taio Kea. Who else was in it? Bull Buchanan, D'Lo Brown. Like they were a faction. Then you had the Voodoo Murders, which had the original lineup. Had like Chuck Palumbo, Johnny Stamboli, Rene Dupree.
The titles that
even Kojima was part of it.
Legion of Doom were pretty fucking awesome.
Oh yeah, when Legion of Doom was originally just a faction of people thrown together. Jake Roberts, the Spoiler, King Kong Bundy, and the Road Warriors. Like what?
That's like a Survivor Series team. Speaking of Survivor Series.
Oh yes,
coming up.
By any chance, are you guys interested in doing a live watch along of Survivor Series?
I'm down.
We'll host it
I'm
on.
down to bring Cartman as well. I'll call him up.
Hey, can we get Cartman and can we get Meatwad?
Yes, we could.
Rise, chicken, rise.
All
He'll be there.
I'll be right there too, son.
They're gonna make me have abs again.
Coming down to the ring with one fall.
Yeah, I think we can do that. We can host it on NWO After Dark, or we can
I
do
gotta
like
bring
a
the
live
commercial
watch along, 'cause,
voiceover guy.
we can bring up to 10 people. So
Brought to you by MWO TV.
shout out to my dad, KG.
Shout out to
Luder.
Luna Bombay, guys. That's what she's watching.
Shout out to
Hell yeah,
everybody
shout out
who
to
came
Luna.
to
Luna
this.
be chilling.
Shout out to everybody who came to the podcast to watch us, to listen about history, wrestling history. We got a little serious about it, and it was pretty great. Good show today.
I
How
love
you guys
it.
feeling?
Like,
It's great.
I don't mind talking about wrestling for hours.
It's history in the making. It's about prestige.
Oh yeah.
Well, before we go, Base, what's your five? Give me your 5 top titles. All of you guys, give me your 5 top titles.
They start with you.
All right, I'll go first. So, obviously, you guys know one of them because I have it sitting in my lap. But I'll start with number 5. Now I'm just gonna go on the fly based on just how I'm feeling right now. This is subject to change. Top 5 titles. Number 5. I'm gonna go in order from I don't want to say least to best because I like them all. But my top 5, least favorite to most favorite. First one has to be that Attitude Era. This is going to be very biased because of what I grew up watching.
Yeah.
The IC strap that The Rock had, not the one with the purple, the black strap one.
Black strap, okay.
The good house cleaning match, WWF Intercontinental belt. That belt is my
the in your house
favorite.
Intercontinental title.
Yes, my 4th favorite. My
the
4th
oval
favorite.
Shape?
Yes, the oval.
Okay, I wanted to make sure you were specific on that. I was
The oval shape. Yes, my 4th favorite. Number 4. Going to number 1. It has to be that I like weird belts. So I like that Ring of Honor belt, the TV title that Jay Lethal had when he was holding both belts in the House of Truth.
Yes, that was a good title too.
That's another title that I love.
Phenomenal.
Love. Number 3 is the WCW United States Championship, the one that Raven held. That's my number 3.
A lot of wrestlers held those belts.
Yes. My number 2 favorite belt is the version 4 IWGP Heavyweight Championship. And number 1, obviously, you guys know it is the only one that I own. The WrestleMania 17.
Nice.
WWF Championship.
Nice.
Attitude Era scratch logo.
Nice.
This belt is just so many of the wrestlers that I loved and hated as a child held this. So this is the number 1.
Bret Hart was a phenomenal. He wore that title phenomenal.
Honorable mention. Big Gold is up there for me too. Big Gold would have been number 5, but I wanted to make it interesting.
I'd say it would go based on which version of Big Gold, because there was like 4 different.
Oh, versions. I'm talking about like the one that the top of the middle plate was bent. The one that Booker T had. That one with the fat strap. I think it had a 2x8 box set on the belt. The snaps.
Yeah, that was the J-Mar version, and that was the version that Steiner had, that Booker T had.
Yeah,
it was just the
Rock had it. The Rock had it. Because the Rock had it, like it's up there for me as well.
Really?
But like I said, I didn't want to be like like everyone else. Oh, I like the Big Gold.
Yeah.
So everybody loves the Big Gold.
It depends on which
makes
one.
Them. That's why Fandu makes them.
I like the original.
All right. Before we get into it, Luna Bombay has something. She says she has an inside scoop. What's going on?
25 more people are going to be cut before. How many? Like, what are they doing? They have so many title belts.
What? 25?
It's at 25. But yeah, look at that. The 1994.
Is that Chris Candido?
Shit.
Yeah, when he won the
As
title against
a lot of
Tracy
people would
Smothers.
say, a lot of people would say he was the worst NWA World Champion ever
No,
because
no. It was phenomenal. It's sad that he popped his knee, though, after that. Okay.
yeah. Oh no, this was 94. This was
was way
right
before
after
that.
the whole skip push.
Okay.
Skip. Yeah. Before, but you know what though?
Candido.
Chris Candido's title reign was basically kickstarted to one of the greatest NWA reigns during that era. When he lost to Dan Severn, and Dan Severn went on a 4-year title reign because he was also NWA champion and UFC champion. I don't think we had a dominant champion like Dan Severn since then.
You're right.
I'm talking about Dan Severn, the beast, man. I watched this.
Who's going second, though? Who's going to go second? Because I asked the question for everybody.
I'll go second.
I'll
go second. I don't mind. I'll go second.
Go ahead, Mike. You go.
You want me to go? Okay, I'll go. So, top 5 favorites. Doesn't matter what era.
No.
So I'm gonna go from least to my favorite. So number 5, I have to go with the NWA United States Heavyweight title.
Oof, classic.
Ooh.
Number 4, the WWF Intercontinental title that was used from 88 all the way to 98.
Oh, okay.
I fell in love.
You talking about like when Bob Backlund won that shit?
Oh no, the Intercontinental.
That's the Stone Cold. That's the Stone Cold belt where his left
Stone Cold. That's bad. Savio Vega time. Okay.
Yeah, that was during the era of Rude, Ultimate Warrior.
Savio Vega time, right? Am I right or wrong? Savio Vega?
Savio Vega's a former champion. Yep. Marty Jannetty. Yeah.
Marty Jannetty.
That version.
Shawn Michaels.
Bret
Hart.
That belt, right?
Mr. Perfect.
Mr. Perfect.
Let's not forget about Mr. Perfect.
Kerry Von Erich. It's a who's who.
Texas Tornado.
Number 3, I have to go with the IWGP the IWGP Heavyweight Title version 4. Even though a lot of people expected that to be 1 or 2, but once again, we're going based on of all time. Number 2, and this is the version that was used from late 95 all the way till it finally got absorbed with the Intercontinental title, the WCW United States Heavyweight title, which a lot of people don't know. There's a goose egg when it came to that championship.
Yes, there is. Whole shit.
So
you gotta tell it.
Kensuke Sasaki, who was at the time the first Japanese wrestler to win it, when he won the belt at WCW versus the World in Tokyo, Japan, Sting was wearing the 3-plate version of it. Sasaki won the 3-plate version, but up until this December, Sasaki was wearing the 5-plated version on TV. Even when he debuted at World War III as champion, he wore the 5-plate version. He didn't start wearing the 3-plate version until December, even though he won the belt in November live, and it was the 3-plate version. That version, the 3-plate belt, has always been my favorite because the front plate looked bigger because that was when J-Mard made the belt, because Reggie Parks was the one who made the 5-plate version, and they were going away from that style and was changing to where most of the belts were being 3-plated, just like the Cruiserweight belt was, and later on the tag team title.
I like the 3-plated. It makes the title more.
Yeah, and because they're trying to be like Big Gold, which my number 1 of all time favorite has got to be the Big Gold, and I'm going with the original. I'm talking about the original that Flair
before
came out
before the top
strap.
bended.
Brown strap.
Before the top bended.
I'm talking about the original when it was on brown strap. Everything
when it got down, when it got debuted by Flair.
Okay.
The one that he put the deposit down for himself.
Okay.
1980. Was it
botched,
86 or 87?
It was 86, and they botched his name on the belt because they spelled it Rick with a K.
I remember
So,
that one.
so that right there would be my top 5 because it's belts that I grew up loving. I mean, there was even at one point I had a 3-plated U.S. title, but there was a guy who pretty much like J-Rod's situation. You know, he wanted a belt, but because he was spending money for his family, helping his kids, I literally told the guy, meet me in D.C. because he lived in D.C. And literally I gave it to him. Literally gave it to him because he was also a big wrestling fan that I knew also. Now, he bought my WWF Winged Eagle belt. I just threw in the U.S. belt as an add-on for free.
Wow. What a guy.
They had an NWA and WCW US title belt. I like the NWA one because it had a lot of prestige to it. Lex Luger, I think I mostly remember him wearing it because he
Yeah,
was US title.
Mhm.
I'm trying to remember who he won it from. Was it
His
Barry
first
Windham?
reign. His first reign was I forgot who
His
his
first
first
one was the
reign was.
80s, 86, 87 when he was young when he
Yeah,
debuted.
but I forgot who he beat the first time for it.
Nikita
I know
Koloff?
I think no, it wasn't Koloff. I know the second time he beat Michael Hayes. No, and the third time was Barry Windham at Chi-Town Rumble. Then the fourth time was in WCW against Bret Hart. But I'm trying to remember who was the first one.
It had to be Nikita Koloff because he was US champion at one time before in the
I
beginning of his
don't know
career.
though. If it was in controversial fashion, but
Or was it
I'm trying to.
wasn't Dusty Rhodes a US champion in the mid 80s?
Maybe it was Dusty Rhodes he took it from.
Because
I gotta
he lost to Dusty in Starrcade 87.
I gotta check it. We're gonna have to hit the Google machine on this one.
Oh, we got a double. We got
Like
a
I
stunt
just
double.
we got Miyagi and his stunt double. But yeah, I gotta check this because he won the belt 5 times, right?
Mhm.
I
Damn.
was,
Luger's
'Cause he
third
won
reign was almost 2 years.
Yeah. It had to be. It had to be. It had to be either Dusty Rhodes or Nikita Koloff, one of the two. I could be wrong. Because the television champion at that time was Magnum TA.
Uncle Ivan.
who's going third and fourth? I guess I'm going third.
Yeah. I'll go last, I guess.
Yeah, you're right. It was Nikita Koloff in a steel cage match. Luger, that was his first title reign.
And he lost to Dusty in Starrcade
That was a good
87.
title.
Yep. And then Barry won it, and then Luger won it at
Mhm.
Chi-Town Rumble. Then Michael Hayes won it, then Luger won it. Then Stan Hansen won it, then Luger won it. And then he vacated it when he
What
became
a
WCW World Champion.
Botch and that was Halloween Havoc when Stan Hansen won it.
And technically, Luger was the first WCW US champion.
Mhm.
He was the last NWA US champion and the first one. But yeah. And they even mentioned it as a side note, Kensuke Sasaki having the three
Your 3-plated belt.
plated he won the 3-plated, but later on he was on TV with the 5-plate, which I never understood why. I never understood why they did that.
Yeah, because I look back and I said,
And
well,
got
that was
plenty of
weird.
food.
But yeah, going on to the
All right.
top favorite belts. Yeah,
All right. I'm gonna go with the New Japan 1950 to 1960 title. You know what I'm talking about?
The NWF heavyweight title that Inoki brought from California.
Yes.
That was revived back in 2003 by Yoshihiro Takayama, which then got absorbed again when Nakamura won it in January 4, 2004.
I like titles that look weird, and that's fucking phenomenal title, bro.
It's crazy how it went that far, huh?
Yes, you did.
I know exactly what you meant. The NWF heavyweight championship, because Vince didn't want to make Antonio Inoki world champion. He beat Backlund for it, but they didn't count it. They took it off the books.
And
Oh,
these
Vince
titles
McMahon's
I like
racist.
because as a kid, I looked at the titles. I'm like, oh my god, the more diamonds, the more shiny, the more
Mhm.
crazy. The world title that Warrior won, the lime green.
Oh
When he
yeah,
That
won
because
it
one,
against Hogan, yeah.
That was a
that
he
one.
funky
had
take
numerous
on
colors.
the original Eagle belt, Eagle
I,
style
Yeah.
I
belt.
think Base loves the fact that I picked that one. That title was the only reason I loved it was because it was lime green. I was like, what the fuck? Holy shit!
Oh yeah,
Warrior's
his
the
head.
man.
It's really cool to look at.
So how do you feel about
Oh,
him when he did the IC belt yellow?
I didn't like it.
Me neither.
I only liked it the orange, the lime green, the purple, the lime
I remember
purple.
the
That
purple.
was phenomenal. The lime
purple was
purple, he only
nice.
did one time. It was only one time shown. Lime purple, the IC championship, and that was pretty good. I'm glad that Cody wronged it back, but that title, those titles were like, and Warrior's the only one that made that white into lime purple and lime green.
Mhm.
I said that's 3 titles already, right? Yeah. The 4th title is the first undisputed championship that Brock Lesnar lost against Eddie Guerrero. I like that title.
Oh, that was the second version.
That was the second. Okay, so
Yeah,
yeah.
because the first version was a lot smaller.
Okay. Yeah, the bigger version. So, thank you for saying that. And the phenomenal last title I say is the ECW World title, the one that Rhino won before they
Oh,
made
the
it to the
last version.
yes.
I like the Taz version because it was blood
That's
orange.
that's number 6 I could say to me, but then my number 5 is
Honorable mention.
But the crazy part
Honorable
is
mention.
Taz was the one who came up with the drawings for those belts at
I
the time.
heard
Yep.
Peter took time thinking about that, and it's crazy how I said his name, right?
Yeah, I was about to say, then he broke out the third character. He said Peter.
Fuck that.
Hater.
He said Peter. And you said it with a southern accent, Peter.
Pater.
Hater.
I could
He
see
said-
Moxie doing that.
I can see him getting pissed off and telling me, Jamie, you fucking asshole.
He said, you broke the third wall, man.
Piece of shit. I'm fucking Red Hook, man. I'm fucking from Williamsburg, bro. You know that. I love you too, Taz.
Bunch
Oh
of
my
Brooklyn
God.
boys. But I guess it's on to me next, right? So my top 5. All right, the 5th one, I'm gonna go from 5 to I guess whatever, from bottom to top. So my 5th one was the U.S. WCW US title, the one that Kensuke Sasaki held.
The 3-plate.
That was a good
The
title.
three-plated. That's the title that I want. I'm gonna bring out another weird title that I usually is not really mentioned here, but since I'm all Japan biased, it was the I don't know if it was the All Asia or the Real Asia Tag Team belts from
The
All
all
Japan.
Asian tag titles
The
that
All
were
Asia
used.
Tag Team
Yeah.
that Kobashi and Kikichi held against the Can-Am Express. That belt.
I mean,
like
I
that
think
belt
It's
for
gonna
some
get
reason.
interesting.
I mean, if you think about it, that is the oldest running active championship in Japan.
Is it still running that title?
Yeah,
Yep.
it's in All Japan.
Because that belt was originally part of the Japan Wrestling Association, which was run at the time by Riki Dozan. So because of
JWA.
that, by default, those tag titles are right now the most active, longest championships in Japan.
And the one that brought that belt to All Japan was Giant Baba, because he was the student of Riki Dozan.
Yep.
Yeah, because Giant Baba was a baseball player before he became a professional wrestler. He was like the Japanese Randy Johnson before Randy Johnson. 6'10", tall, skinny, lanky guy throwing a 100-mile-per-hour fastball. You know, he was a righty. So that was my 4th title. My 3rd title was it's hard to pick because there's a lot of title belts that I could put in my mind. The 3rd one was the big gold belt, but it was the one that Chono had. It was the NWA International belt.
Okay, so
it looked for some reason it looked good on Chono. For some odd reason, it looked great on him. It just looked good.
When he was,
yeah.
And I think
when
that's
he recruited in the G1 Climax in '92.
That was version 3, a big gold.
That was the version 3. Okay, so yeah, the version 3 of the belt, gold belt. That was the one I liked. The second one was the WCW World Title. You know, Ron Simmons also helped, but Sting was. I think Lex Luger was the first one to wear that belt, the first version.
Yep,
Mhm.
Luger, Sting,
Luger, Sting,
Vader,
and Vader, Ron
Ron
Simmons,
Simmons, and Flair.
and Flair. The only ones that actually had that belt, and then to me, it still means more to me than anything. And the first belt is the first version of the IWGP belt. I'll tell you the reason
Okay.
why. Because it brought me back to like it was supposed to be, I think in the early 80s, I guess Hogan beat Inoki. It was supposed to be a tournament
It
going on
was the
for that title.
IWGP League.
Yeah, it was the ID, and then when they brought it as a belt, like the first version into the 80s, it was just like, wow. That belt looked to me, it looked like it had royalty on it. It meant something. It looked like like some type of MMA belt almost, but different. It had like some type of meaning to it. Like you are IWGP champion because New Japan was getting big in Japan in the late 80s. And I was looking at the belt like, dang, but I also liked the third version too, because the one that Chono had
Mhm.
when
That
he
was the
beat
second.
Fujinami. That was the
That was
second
the second
version.
version.
I get mixed up between the second and third because they kind of look
So,
alike.
if you really want to be technical, this is where I'm about to blow your mind, right? The first version, there was actually 2 versions of the first version. The first one is the one that we seen when it was a trophy belt and winning the IWGP League. This was before the G1.
Mhm.
Because before the G1, we had the MSG League, we had the World League, then we had the IWGP League, and then we had the G1 Climax. So the version that you saw Hogan have, that was version 1 of
Those
the
were good
first.
titles, man.
And then the one that was used as a regular championship, that was actually version 2 of the first one. The one Chono had when he beat
Mhm.
Fujinami, that was version 2. That's the belt that's currently buried at Shinya Hashimoto's grave because they made that version for Shinya Hashimoto because at the time he had the most title defenses with the first version. So they made the second version in his honor. That's why when he died, New Japan gave that family that version of the belt and buried it with him. That's why Brock Lesnar's not in Japan either, because when
Yeah,
he left with the third belt, they had to dig up the second belt from his gravesite.
yeah.
Thank God the show that Lesnar was supposed to drop the belt to was in Hashimoto's hometown because Hiroshi Tanahashi is from the same hometown as Shinya Hashimoto, Gifu, Japan. And then, of course, the fourth version, which is the one that we all know and love, before the Transformer belt came out. Um,
You gotta
yeah,
get rid of that belt.
that's a little something you didn't know. Like honestly, when they were going to merge the belts together, here's what I thought the belt was going to look like. I honestly thought the original version of the IWGP World Heavyweight Title, if it was me, I would still kept the version 4, right?
Mhm.
But instead of it saying heavyweight, it just says World Heavyweight, and I would put it on a white strap. That was my vision of what the IWGP World Heavyweight title was supposed to be.
Mhm.
That way, you still had the best of both worlds, but you still kept the original traditional look.
Because you always got to see, the thing is with these belts, you always got to have the traditional type looking belt because it meant something.
Mm-hmm. And if you really want to be technical,
Technical wrestling.
if you really want to be technical, then why is it the IWGP World Junior Heavyweight title is not renamed? Why is it not renamed a World Junior Heavyweight title? Because if I remember correctly,
Mhm.
now, 1995 in December, the IWGP Junior Heavyweight title was defended in America by Koji Kanemoto beating Alex Wright. If I remember correctly now, I could be wrong.
Oh, and I forgot to do an honorable mention. The GHC first version title.
Yeah. And
Oh
then if that's the
yes,
case,
yeah.
I love that belt. For some reason, the one where Kobashi had was the first version, right? because it was Misawa, Akiyama, and then Kobashi. If you line up as the line of the champ, I could be wrong. If I want, you could get technical. Hey, I'm okay with the technical.
What about the Saudi Radio title that Iron Sheik had made when he fought Hulk Hogan? That's one of my favorite titles too.
The big green version of
the
WWF Championship.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they didn't have no more nameplates to put on the past champions, so they had to make the new belt. What was it? The Hogan 84, which was molded off of the NWA World TV title.
Yeah,
I didn't like that version.
Why?
It was the NWA TV.
I felt like WWF was trying to take a jab at the NWA.
It might have been that. That might have been the case.
Might have.
That's the hey, we're gonna take over now.
Wasn't that shit
better
heavy?
Than yours.
But
wasn't that shit so heavy?
Vince was taking shots at every promotion when he started taking over.
Because then a year later we had the Hogan 85, then the Hogan 86, and then is it just me? Here's another Easter egg for those who didn't know. So you notice the episode that Hogan lost the belt to Andre the Giant on Saturday Night Main Event. You notice how early in the show. So check this out. Next time y'all watch it, next time let me know if y'all notice this shit. So you notice the interview before the match, Hogan was wearing the Hogan 86 belt, but then when he went out to fight Andre, he was wearing the Wing Eagle.
Yeah, I remember that one. I've seen that.
I don't remember that. I wasn't.
Watch that episode.
I went back to.
I gotta go back and look at that now. I like stuff like that
because it was before Hogan was wearing the 86 belt, which even though it was basic, it looked nice. But then when he came out, he had the Wing Eagle belt, which Andre beat him for, and then he gave it to
$1 Million Man Ted DiBiase. Because it was a storyline of DiBiase paid for it to happen, so he was under the control of DiBiase except for Bobby Heenan. Bobby Heenan was no longer his manager at that time.
I still say they should have recognized DiBiase's title reign.
He paid for that belt. he paid for that title.
They should have counted it as a title reign because it went with the character. It went with the character of Ted DiBiase saying, everybody's got a price. He's like, I can buy anything. I bought the world heavyweight title and then all that.
Yeah, how you buy the belt? How do you buy the belt? Oh, man,
like you said, everybody has a price, and I'm pretty sure
that was one of my favorite gimmicks too. When he was $1 Million, there was so many gimmicks. We talk about that topic probably next week.
What gimmick belts?
Gimmick wrestlers. one of them was Vinny Vegas.
And definitely, yes, next week definitely gonna talk about before the year ends, because remember this time we only got one more month of this year. So we're definitely talking about some mental health too next week.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I found out some shit about about what's gonna go down with diabetes and the fucking COVID shit. So yeah, definitely talk about some mental health.
Oh, that's a good topic to talk about.
Maybe it's just me, but I think some of the wrestlers who had to deal with these horrible gimmicks, some of these gimmicks, I think it had to take a swerve on their mental health as well too.
Yes, you know what? I'll vouch for that, Mike.
I was about to say, and I think that should be pointed out too, because let's be honest, I think, just being personal, because it was mentioned on Dark Side of the Ring too with Chris Kanyon, but I would have to say I'm pretty sure Matt Bourne went through some mental health problems with the Doink gimmick.
Oh, he had. Because he went from Big Josh to a clown gimmick.
Yeah.
And then he became Maniac.
And I would love to talk about when I had a conversation when I had with Steve Borden, a.k.a. Sting, what made him do the Crow gimmick of Sting. It took a lot of anger about, about how Vince was, and about Hogan and Eric Bischoff taking over WCW and making it into shit with Vince Russo. I could definitely talk about how his character, his change made him into that paint job into the crow. When he seen the crow, made him dream.
Well, it
of
was
the
also
state.
that, but also he was going through something personal.
Yes, I know. Drinking problems, divorce. Yes, I know.
Drugs, drinking, and all
Yeah.
that. Well, we'll bring that up next week then.
I know
Yeah.
you would love that
Um,
conversation, J-Rod. Sting.
Yeah, because I'm a huge
Oh yeah,
Sting
me
fan.
too. And
I
plus
love the
the fact
Crow.
that he
I
didn't
love the
wrestle
Crow,
for
so this is good. This is I like
Yeah.
Sting too.
I mean, and he didn't wrestle for over a year,
Mhm.
18 months.
He got paid
and
to
was
just
still getting
be
getting
home
paid.
and then come back and sit in the rafters and just be creepy.
He was angry. He was really angry.
Yeah, I mean that gimmick was a legit shoot at the time. Because, and I get it. How you gonna let your franchise player always play second fiddle to someone every time,
Yeah.
constantly?
I
But
mean,
he's
but
supposed
in
to
a
be-
way, you can also I can play devil's advocate and say without that experience in the workplace happening for him, maybe that persona doesn't happen. It
All
doesn't
right.
inspire him.
Before anything, I don't want to cut nobody off, but has
Yeah.
anybody listened to that one episode of What Happened When?
Which
Tony
one?
Schiavone talked about Sting, and there was a lot of things that he mentioned about Sting.
Yes, he did.
Oh
A
yeah.
lot of things. That more Sting was really. I see the reason why these things were happening with Sting was because it seemed like he was just there for the money. From what Tony Schiavone said, I don't know if it's true. You might disagree with me on that. Meg, you heard the episode.
Yeah, I've heard
He
parts
was
of it.
more. He was talking about like how he just was talking about life, his family, what he was going through personally.
Mhm.
And Tony Schiavone said he was going through a change because his family, his wife was about to leave him,
Yeah, the
and
divorce
all
was
this other
serious.
stuff.
See,
Yeah,
I'm glad we talking about this because you're right. I'm glad I brought that up.
it
Thank you,
took a
J-Rod.
toll on him. It took a toll on him. I mean, like you said, it takes back from the 80s. Cocaine was big in the 80s.
Yes, it was.
Mhm.
In any
I
sport,
mean,
you name it, baseball, football, basketball, professional wrestling.
well, I mean, let's not forget about the infamous backstage video of Great American Bash '87.
Oh yeah. Was that oof. Was that something?
Yeah, the Road Warriors, Luger,
And
Sting.
I'm gonna tell you something. Hawk scared me.
Yeah,
Hawk
you know
scares
what?
me.
Yeah, Hulk. The two crazy stories I ever heard in my life is Hulk. Besides, New Jack. Jesse, Jesse, Rogers, this thing Rogers, Jesse Rogers. That man smoking crack before a match. Fucking who else I heard stories of besides Jake the Snake Roberts?
Bret Hart.
Stories of fucking who did dope in wrestling? Fuck.
Who did?
Roddy Piper. Another person.
But Roddy
Cocaine.
Piper was doing that just to get away from.
Jimmy Snooker, dope, cocaine, all that.
Oh yeah, but Snooker became violent. Piper did coke because, he even mentioned it in interviews how he was molested when he was younger.
Yes.
He had to do stuff just to get his mind off of it. Even before a wrestling match, he mentioned he would, get high before a match because of his anxiety. But even when Jimmy Snooker was doing cocaine, they say he was like a complete different person. And
Yeah,
it showed.
but bro, he couldn't function without it. If he wasn't on the drug, it'll be his shittiest match. But it's crazy how not a lot of that's a lot of like I'm sorry even to talk about it, but I know Jake the Snake Rogers mentioned this shit a lot of times in his documentaries.
Yeah,
I
definitely.
mean, it's true though.
Because he told me himself that the only way he'll function if he didn't get a hit, he'll be fucked.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I asked him, how could you perform on heroin? And he's like, imagine you go sleep and the pain doesn't go away. Like you can't function. And the way he just started talking like that, and
are you doing a Jake impersonation?
I just did this. Yeah.
Yeah, it was starting. It was pretty spot on.
He's like, it takes me wild back, and the dark. I'll take a hit just to get the pain to go away. And it's funny. You hit the DDT real good, and this is exact what he's telling me. You hit a DDT real good, but if you don't get that taste of hit of drugs, your body takes over. You can't function in the ring. He just went on there, and I'm just listening to him. I'm like, how the fuck you could do this shit on that drug, bro? Like, it's great. Like people saying Kurt Cobain didn't shoot himself because how much drugs he was on of heroin. Imagine being on heroin in the ring, bro. That's I can't imagine. It's crazy.
Yeah. But yeah, you want, we could leave this. You could talk more about that next week and close out the show. Yeah, because I got to get going.
But how was that? Spot on, Mike?
That was actually really good, Jake the Snake.
It was very spot on.
It
was really
the
good.
DDT is pretty special.
Nah, you just got to smoke a whole pack of like Newports, and then it's like
Basically, it's not harsh. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, bada bing, bada boom. Vinny Vegas is here.
Yeah,
but no, I'm gonna say thank you guys for this show. This show was phenomenal. Base, I'm glad to see you here. You're the man. Mike,
Always love coming through.
Mike, I love the show. Thank you for being here. J-Rod, you already know, hitting home runs all day. It is what it is. Next week we'll talk about mental health and the story I was just talking about, Jake the Snake, and anything else, COVID and wrestling. Love you guys. Any guys that want to end it, go ahead.
Look, last week you had me end it, J-Rod, so your turn.
Do a mic up. Do a mic.
You put me on the spot now.
On the spot. Yeah.
All right, y'all. That's it for the podcast. You already know what it is. We out of here. We out of here.
Hold on. Can we get a mic for love?
Do the close.
Mic for love,
bitch.
Oh, we're doing mics for love too.
Let me just get a mic for love.
Go on, do the close. Take the camera off me already. What's going on?
He said, "What's going?" He's still doing the Mikey voice. Hello, this is Mike at Mike'sForLove.com. Ladies, if you're looking for love from a man named Mike, then look no further. All you have to do is go to Mike'sForLove.com. Men, if your name is Mike and you too are looking for love, then even you can look no further. All you have to do is grab your tablet or your phone and go to Mike'sForLove.com. Don't click on the link, but go to Mike'sForLove.com. Because at the end of the day, you can't spell love without MIKE at Mike'sForLove.com.
Brought to you by Blue Chew.
Chew it in.
Has been paid for by the Mike's World Order.
Motherfucker.
Rice chicken.
He said a rice chicken.
Oh snap! What?
Put himself.
Oh yes.
Your turn.
Brought to you by Mike World Order, and welcome to It Is What It Is. Tune in next Friday for the next episode on 9 p.m. live on Twitch TV. Brought to you by Pornhub. It's what is in your computer. Yeah, I did it.
Later, bro.
All right, guys. Have a good night. We enjoyed the show. We're closing this out. And
Throw 'em
also,
up, y'all.
tune into Mike World Order on Wednesday nights at 9 p.m.
I'll be there.
It's what's
And-
on in the background.
Miyagi.
on Twitch.
Miyagi-san will be there.
If anybody wanna give a shout out to Mike on the chat and to tune in, plug him in.
Yeah,
tune
it's
in
at
this Wednesday.
Mike World Order. At Mike World Order.
This Wednesday, you're going to see all these guys. You're going to see the MWO crew. We will have the first ever Mike World Order Survivor Series. And also on the show, to do a quick plug-in, it will be Mikey Stark's second title defense as the MWO Strong Chat Openweight Champion against Nameless Goulet.
Miyagi-san will take over that, man.
And Miyagi-san
And I'll
will be
destroy
there.
it.
He's going to destroy it. And
Bitch.
I want Miyagi-san in the tattoo and destroy
No
my
more
son.
impressions for me for the night.
whoa.
Whoa.
And don't forget,
I guess you guys got a new challenger.
and don't forget the special 2-night event, December 8th and December 9th. Mike Thunder's birthday bash. Don't forget it. I look forward to seeing you guys there.
Mike
as well,
Thunder,
too.
I'll definitely be there, brother.
Well, we're gonna be there, but we're gonna be there live, and we're probably gonna be showing you a little bit of AEW Dynamite at that night. Because we're all gonna be at that show. Live in Long Island, New York. The home of WrestleMania 2. Arise, chicken.
Yo, Bass, I'm dying to
I
see you,
can't.
man.
Looking arise.
I can't do no voice, so I can only do the commercial voiceover for Viagra and whatever.
And
Fuck you,
Miyagi-san will be with
Trojan
Cartman.
man.
I'll definitely be there, bitch. Fuck Mikey Starks, bitch.
Brought to you by Trojan
Fuck
Condom.
Mikey Starks, bitch.
If you do not want to have kids, wrap that Jimmy up. By Trojan man.
I'm gonna go take a shower. It's been real.
It's been real. If you're gonna take a shower, use Irish Spring Sport. The
Nah,
best soap
guys,
in the world.
I
It's been
shower
really
in a
weird. I'm
bathing
sorry,
suit.
guys. I'm sorry,
Weird.
guys.
I use
He showers
Dr.
in-
Watch.
He showers in Speedos. Brought to you by
What?
Speedo.
Oh, that was weird.
Oh my god, I'm tired. I gotta get my ass to bed.
Yeah. Love
I
you
think
guys.
All right, good night, guys.
Love
Enjoy the
y'all.
show.
Throw
We'll
'em
see
up.
y'all next week, next Friday.
Later.
9 p.m. Peace.